Welcome to Apartment Market Dynamics from MPF Research. I'm Jay Parsons, and I'm with Greg Willett, the Vice President for Research and Analysis at MPF Research. And today we're talking about preliminary results from first quarter 2011. Obviously, still a couple days left of data collection, but we don't expect that to change the overall results much at all, if any. And a few months ago, Greg, when we were talking about 2011, there have been pretty big expectations for good revenue growth, not just from us, but really all across the country from different operators and owners. And so given those expectations, what are we looking for when analyzing these numbers from 1Q?
I do think it is important to put in context what were the expectations and to realize that, in fact, as you look across calendar 2011, first quarter was really our point of vulnerability, and that kind of goes back to what happened early in 2010. First quarter normally is not a big demand period, but in fact we had huge leasing activity in early 2010 because that's when the economy really started to turn around. So what that means, a lot of renewing 12-month leases coming up. And also those were the folks who signed leases right at the bottom of the cycle in terms of pricing, so there was going to be some sticker shock involved. So that really means, did we hold on to those residents, and did we manage to continue to have some solid rent growth as we got those people renewed?
So let's take a look at those numbers to see if leases did get renewed in the first part of 2011. And the good news appears to be that, yes, they did. Overall occupancy stands at 93.6% as of 1Q 2011. That's up a very slight 0.1 percentage point since fourth quarter 2010 and up 0.8 percentage points annually. And those occupancy stats seem to indicate that the apartment sector didn't add a whole lot of new renters in the first 3 months of 2011, but added just enough to keep pace with the number of new deliveries coming online at the same time. And it also is indicative that the apartment sector is not losing a lot of people to single-family home sales or to other rental housing options, not to rental single-family homes or to condos, at least not yet.
So, Jay, some good news on the occupancy side, and the rent numbers for first quarter actually look pretty good too. What we saw was a 1.1% increase in effective rates for new leases, and that brought the annual change number to 3.3%. So again, a pretty good bump for those people whose leases were turning over in first quarter. The operators really seemed to hit the exact right balance to get some lift in the pricing, but not raise it so much that you started losing people to other housing options.
And Greg, obviously over the next few weeks, you're going to be analyzing a lot of individual metros. But quickly now, are there any markets that really jump out, any trends that you're seeing?
As we look at the individual markets, there were a handful of really high flyers last year that stalled out actually a little bit in first quarter, and some examples of those would be Washington, D.C., Denver, Austin. Not bad numbers from them, but just not continuing the momentum that they had previously. On the flip side, some others that did really well last year continued to just roll right along in first quarter, and examples are New York. Everywhere in the Pacific Northwest had just a really spectacular performance early in the year. And then maybe some that exceeded expectations. I'd look at the Midwest and the Rust Belt markets, and we've talked before about some manufacturing growth starting to kick in. Those markets did pretty well during first quarter. And then another one to highlight, Phoenix has now shown some pretty decent momentum for a couple of quarters, and I think is starting to get results that would surprise some people.
Well, there you have it. That wraps us up for today. Join us next time we start looking at individual markets, beginning with Dallas-Fort Worth next week. Until then, for Greg Willett and MPF Research, I'm Jay Parsons. Thank you for watching Apartment Market Dynamics.
Want more? Go deeper with MPF Research's apartment market reports. From a national level, down to individual metros, to specific neighborhoods, MPF Research has been providing unparalleled apartment market intelligence to the multifamily industry for almost 5 decades. Learn more by contacting us at 877-284-4938 or visit www.npfresearch.com and click on Market Reports.